I'm Elizabeth Madrigal.
And I'm Karen Morrison.
And we're the hosts of the Women's Mosaic, where the real lives of women and girls are shared and celebrated.
In this space, we honor the feminine and amplify the voices of women speaking their truth.
The Women's Mosaic delves into the real lives of local women through story-rich interviews, learning what works and what doesn't to enhance the health and well-being of women in our community.
We strive to share unique perspectives, resource sharing, and instructions on how to be kind by any means necessary. Welcome to the Women's Mosaic.
Up in the morning, it's on the downs, and little white clouds like a gambling lambs. And I am breathless over you, and the red-breasted robin.
Today we're joined by Stella Cope. She serves as the board vice president for the nonprofit, the Queer Youth Resource Center. Welcome to the show, Stella.
Thank you, and I'm pleased to be here.
What kind of support is offered through QYRC, and that's QYRC, and Triple Point for family members?
So currently we only have an online support system. Again, as I've mentioned before, we frequently participate in events all over Clark County and beyond, and we're available by phone and by email. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions or comments, whatever, and we can connect you with family support groups and that sort of thing. Triple Point has a monthly family support group, and I volunteer with that one as well, and it is amazing. So they have two of them. The one in Vancouver meets the second Wednesday of every month. They have one in Washougal, which meets the third Wednesday of every month. So this is a group for any age. It's open to families, and by families, it's what you consider your family.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So whoever you want to bring, you don't have to bring kids. We have families that don't bring their kids. Mm-hmm. These are either guardians or parents. Mm-hmm. They're trying to navigate this new family style or, trying to understand what's going on with their kiddo. So they'll come, and again, sometimes we serve dinner, so that's nice. We try to have a question for that particular evening. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't even get to that question, or if there's a topic we've had prepared. We try to talk to them individually if they like. Sometimes we'll break off into groups. If there are kids there, sometimes they'll have specific questions. Sometimes it can be very emotional. Sometimes
Yes.
kids will come with their families. They want to address their parents right there in that group setting.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Great.
They don't feel comfortable doing it in their home, so they're going to do it right there and then. Now, again, we are not mental health experts. Mm-hmm. We are just certainly, the volunteers certainly aren't, but neither are the Triple Point leaders of these groups.
Right.
So we're just there to facilitate an open communication. But some wonderful things have come out of these group sessions. Okay. And again, it's just a safe, open place for these families to come. We had one family come in with like 4 kids. I mean, it was just, they were very affirming and open and supportive. But again, we've had some family members that were just, I don't know what's going on with this kid, Luckily, their kid wasn't with them. So,
Could you go over the day, time, and location, or is that something that you share, or do you wait for people to contact you first? Before?
So again, it's in Vancouver, and I don't know I know how to get there, but I don't know the address. So it's at Akin, It's on St. John's Street in Vancouver, but you'll have to look up the address. We'll find that.
So it's AKIN.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is the and you can also find this on Facebook on there. And it's the second Wednesday of every month. And then in Washougal, I don't know where exactly that is, but that's the third Wednesday of every month.
Right. So going to Quirk's website or to Akin's website, they should be able to
absolutely
find the address. So that's good. So do you have any advice for extended family and well-meaning friends who want to show support for children exploring their identities, or is it best to mind your own business?
The best advice, I would say, is to simply treat them with respect and kindness, and let them know that you're there to support them. If that child is asking you to use their preferred name, their preferred pronouns, just do it. If you make a mistake, apologize, move on. Don't go on about how sorry. Just move on. Correct yourself and move on. You'll make mistakes. They'll understand. And be a good listener. That is the big thing. Be a good listener. You're there to advocate for them. You don't want to mind your own business. You want to be there to support them. Ask them what they need. Maybe they need something from you. Maybe they would like you to, let's say their sister is your mom. Maybe they would like you to talk to their mom. Ask, is there something you need from me? And just be a listener, an advocate, and a supportive person.
Wow. So just be a compassionate and empathetic human being.
Right.
Yes.
How simple is that? Yeah.
It is so hard because a lot of times, I have some siblings who are, very conservative. And so, it makes it hard because, I've watched them grow in certain situations where family members are not what they expected. And I did hear someone describe it once as saying, well, it's kind of hard because you bought a ticket to France and then you find out you're in Belgium. And so, you have to make the adjustment. You don't speak the language, you don't have any way of really understanding what you need to know because you just don't know. So I think...
but you figure it out.
Yes, you do. When you care. When you care,
exactly.
you figure it out.
Right.
When you don't, well, the people know that too. And so being that caring individual, I'm never sorry for loving anyone.
Exactly.
Ever.
Right.
And you need to love people where they're at and not try to get them to join you in your journey,
Absolutely.
but join you as part of it. So I love the fact that you're there to assist, navigate them through some hard situations that maybe there's understandings missing, and we have to stop doing that one size fits all. We've got to stop that. It never has worked. And so I'm glad to have you there to be the one to say, hey, have you tried this? And you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
You're just going to.
Right.
This is just the humanness of it. So appreciate you.
I think there's a lot of suffering that's going on that's not necessary in families because there's a lack of understanding, and I think people are always concerned about being judged. And if my kid is queer, I did something wrong. There's all kinds of stuff that comes up that isn't necessarily rational or helpful, but. It takes a lot.
So
especially these days.
In this political climate. Put a different spin on a lot of things.
Oh, boy.
And we've got to protect each other. So data shows higher mental health and suicide risks for LGBTQ youth. Are there any recommendations or strategies that can help families lower or prevent those risks?
That's hard. again, it comes back to being an advocate for your child. And make sure that they see you're an advocate for them. Don't misgender your child. Call out transphobia when you see it. Mm-hmm. Call out homophobia when you see it. Wherever, whenever, in front of your child, not in front, just call it out. If your child is being bullied in school, walk right up to that school, talk to the counselor, talk to the principal. And I've heard so many times, especially from actual kids, saying, well, I spoke to the counselor, they can't do anything. No. You're a parent, you don't take no for an answer. Keep pushing. No. You keep doing it until someone listens and takes action.
That's right.
Period.
Right.
Keep communication open always with your kids. And this is for any kid, whether they're in the queer community or not. If they're being bullied, you constantly need to keep the communication open with the kid, with the school, wherever bullying is happening. Find a qualified therapist.
Yes.
To help your child. Again, whatever, queer kid, not queer kid, especially during these formative years.
Yes.
Especially in this time and age, kids are going through so much peer pressure. And if you're a queer kid, it's just exacerbated that much more. Help them find some counseling to help them through this, and just advocate and be a support for them.
And peer support's very important as well, which I think you've proven with the Triple Point.
Right.
Well, I guess there are drop-ins. But I think, feeling alone and feeling like it's never going to change. It's just going to get worse. It's just horrible. I know that thinking as a teenager where you can't really see the future. I mean, we try very hard to live in the moment, all of us adults. Not in the past, not in the future. We try to live in the moment, but kids actually do live in the moment.
Right.
They don't see the future. And, getting them to understand that, this is temporary, everything passes. I think that's something that's so important for teens particularly, because just remind them, is this going to matter? I mean, my son would pull this. He would say to me, if he got in trouble, he'd say, well, Mom, is this going to matter in 10 years? And, because I would say to them, is this going to matter, tomorrow or next week or in 5 years or in 10 years? And so, I knew he had outgrown me when he was saying it back. But
yeah.
You are listening to the Women's Mosaic on KXRW. We've been talking with Stella Cope about resources available for youth who identify with the LGBTQ community. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors and then continue our conversation when we come back.
And burn your bridges down. We make a little history, baby, every time you come around. Come loose your dogs upon me and let your hair hang down. You are a little mystery to me. Every time you call around, we talk about it all night long. We define our moral ground.
Programming like this is made possible with the generous support of David Dansky with David's Toys, buyer and collector of transportation-related toys and trains. David appraises and collects lines from the late 1800s to the 1960s, including Lionel, Flyer, Ives, and Marks. Call David's Toys at 360-576-1602. That's 360-576-1602.
History, baby. Every time you come around, Your face is falling sad now. Lavender Spectrum Health has been serving the health needs of our LGBTQIA+ community since 2023. With a professional, supportive, and compassionate staff of nurse practitioners, nurses, and social workers, Lavender Spectrum Health stands committed to helping you address your mental health or healthcare needs. Located at 5500 Northeast 109th Court, Suite A in Vancouver, Lavender Spectrum Health understands that when it comes to your healthcare needs, you know best. Around me and burn your bridges down. Oh, we make a little history, baby. Every time you come around, come loose your dogs upon me.
Thanks for staying with us. You're listening to the Women's Mosaic on KXRW. Today, our guest is Stella Cope, and our conversation with her continues. What are some meaningful ways to express support for LGBTQI+ youth, both individually and as a community? And I think you've touched on some of this.
Show up at Pride events. Volunteer for events. Again, shut down homophobic, transphobic rhetoric when you hear it. Shut it down immediately. Educate yourself, educate others. If you're unsure, ask questions. If you're unsure about preferred pronouns, before you start assuming, ask. I have found it really helpful if I'm unsure. I use they, them pronouns if I'm not sure. It's just helpful if I don't know. And just ask questions. And just show up. I think showing up at events, especially Pride events, volunteering when you can. Yeah, those are good things. Mm-hmm.
So LGBTQ youth are also at high risk for becoming homeless. Are there local resources available to help these youth?
There is, and you can find this online. There's a place called The Perch. It's a daytime drop-in center for homeless youth ages 15 to 24. It's in Vancouver, and it's a safe space where youth can find refuge from the streets. They can get meals, clothing, showers, do laundry. They can have a mail service there. Wow. And you can nap there. You can't stay there, but the staff there will help you and connect you with transportation, physical and mental health services, legal services, education, employment, and housing resources. So it's a great place to start.
That sounds wonderful. And Perch, P-E-R-C-H?
Yes, The Perch.
The Perch.
Yes.
So with these wonderful resources, Vancouver.
Yes, yes.
So are there any misconceptions people have about LGBTQ youth or their families that you would like to correct? And go on as long as you want.
Well, that's a big question, especially now with this current election.
Yeah.
Let's start by saying that there is no school that is performing gender reassignment surgeries. no school in this country, let me repeat that, is doing gender reassignment surgeries, period. Just like to say that.
Right. I think that's very important
sickening.
to emphasize that.
Generally speaking, and again, this is generally speaking because there are some gray areas here, but generally minors cannot get gender-affirming care without consent from parents or caregivers or
guardians.
Again, it's generally speaking. There's a lot to say here. There's a difference between gender and sex. There's a difference between being trans and being intersex. You are just like you know that you're straight, you know that you're gay or queer, however that looks to you. There's so much to uncover. I don't even know where to start. You know? You can't make somebody gay. Drag queens are not trying to indoctrinate your children into the queer community.
There really is a lot.
There is so much, and it just makes me angry to even think about this stuff. Those are the big ones. I don't even know where to keep going here, but those are the ones I hear about all the time, and the ones you'll hear from the other side.
Yeah.
Well, the uninformed and
the judgmental.
It's not even the uninformed.
Yeah.
These are smart people. Yes, exactly. The ignorant
Yes.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there was one I missed.
Oh, go back.
And I'm getting ready to ask.
Elizabeth asked it.
Oh, you asked the question. Before we go, is there anything we haven't asked you that you would like to share?
Knowledge is key.
Yes.
Parents can support their queer kids by creating an open, affirming, safe environment where their children feel comfortable expressing their identities. And again, I don't feel comfortable using the term parents all the time because parents, it looks very different for so many families. It's not always parents, so I just want to, I use that because it's a comfortable expression, but families look different. Listening without judgment is crucial. Educate yourself about LGBTQ plus terms, issues, experiences. Advocate for your child. Understand your child, what they're going through. Show your support. Use correct names, pronouns. Participate in events. Volunteer. Show up at pride events. Grow together with your child. Celebrate their journey. This is an exciting time for them. They're coming into themselves. They're learning about themselves. They're learning about their identity. Celebrate that with them. Reinforce your love and your support. Show your acceptance, not only with your kid, but with other LGBTQ plus youth. Help them build their self-confidence. That's one of the biggest things with LGBTQ plus youth. It's their self-confidence, and you will see that grow as they grow in learning their self-awareness, their true selves, their true identity. Just knowing that they have unconditional support at home, it's just going to, they'll reap huge benefits just from that. Just from having support at home. And of course, just love and be there for them. It's pretty simple.
I wish that people would really listen to you from their hearts and not from their worries about what other people think. I think, if we approach each other from compassion, whether that's our children or our parents or our siblings or our neighbors, I think, we can't always understand or accept other people's choices or identities because we wanted something else for them, and we have to get past our ideas about what they should, must, have to be. And I think that's one of the hurdles for the LGBTQ, youth and adults. That we wish they would be something other than who they are, because we don't really understand who they are.
Right.
And so, I think if there's anybody out there who's listening who loves somebody who is not what they expected, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's, you're not in France, you're in Belgium.
Right.
So,
Yep.
so-
Absolutely.
So,
For more information about the Queer Youth Resource Center, please visit them at their website, which is www.qyrcvancouverwa.org.
and then thanks so much for joining us today, Stella, and for sharing your advocacy and such powerful insights, and being willing to just bring all this to us, because we need it.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure, and join the fight.
Yes. We're with you.
Yes, we are with you.
You've been listening to the Women's Mosaic on KXRW, and that concludes the second part of our interview with Stella Cope. We'll be back in a minute to wrap up our show. If you'd like to hear part 1 of this interview, please visit kxrw.fm and click on the Women's Mosaic show page, where you'll find the streaming link.
KXRW is supported by founding partners Morel Inc. Print and Marketing. Since 1993, Morel Inc. has offered high-quality, creative, and innovative solutions from their women-owned, union-staffed, state-of-the-art print shop. Morel Inc.'s experienced staff uses the latest technology to solve clients' marketing needs, and within their budget. Find Morel Inc. at morelinc.com. That's MORELINK.com.
If you're looking for pizza in East Vancouver, consider visiting Giuliano's Pizzeria in the Cascade Park Fishers Landing neighborhood. For 37 years, Giuliano's has been a choice for Clark County residents. Giuliano's has a casual classic rock atmosphere, open 7 days a week, and they provide table service allowing you to relax and enjoy your meal with family and friends. If you have a large crowd to feed, Giuliano's can deliver 6 or more extra large pizzas to your office or event. More information can be found at giulianospizza.com.
And that's our show. New episodes broadcast on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays, but you can stream any episode online anytime.
We are so grateful to our guests for sharing their knowledge and life experiences with us in their support of the health and well-being of women and girls.
So until next time, be kind by any means necessary.
And remember to honor your power.